Hi, my name is Elaine Scott, and today I'm going to show you how to use a ruler. It's a log cabin ruler, and the only perfect way you can get a log cabin block is paper piecing, but this is pretty close to it. And I would advise you to keep it in a bag like this, because the instructions that come with it, I know how I am, they would get lost if I didn't have them in the bag. So this is a piece of paper that you really want to keep when you have this ruler. Love these rulers. They come in 4, 6-inch. They come in also a 8, and they come in a 10-inch, and then there's one of them that comes in a 12 or a 6-inch. This one is the 4. I love small. So I'll tell you how to use this ruler is so easy, and that's the only way I make my log cabins now. So we're going to make a log cabin. And you don't have to be real precise when you measure these things. You start out and the packet will tell you what your center block is going to be. This one is 1.5 inches. And I'm going to sew it on. You make one seam, and you can tell this is just real laid back. And every time you make a seam, you're going to press it. And then you're going to put another piece on. And always remember, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut another piece off. This is the best way to use your scraps. The next piece is going to be, you're going to have to remember to turn it clockwise. And so your next piece will go here. If you turn it counterclockwise, you're going to have to do some seam ripping. And I'm going to line that up. There's a little bit of the other hanging off, which is okay. And you're going to see this thing looks wonky, but that's okay. Now I'm ready to add a color. And they don't have to be the same size, just as long as they're 1 1/4 inch, they will be fine. And I'm going to cut this off. And I rotated counterclockwise. And you can sew these, chain sew them, which is very nice. So you can do more than one at a time. And you can tell that these seams are uneven and they're wonky, and that's okay. Now I'm going to add another piece. And you line it up with your center square. And as long as you line it up with your center square, you're okay. And even the other ones may hang out a little bit. Okay, now you have 2 lights and 2 darks, and you can tell this is really crazy looking. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to square it up, and if you'll take it over here, Carolyn. There's your first square that's on here. You probably can't see it very well, but it's in black. And you're going to line that up with your center square. And you're going to cut off all this extra little stuff. You'll turn it and line it up again. And you're going to cut that off. And now you're going to see that you've got a pretty little square. So now you're going to add 2 more lights. And every time you add one, I love to press. And you can tell it's getting kind of wonky again, and that's okay. And that's the good thing about having scraps. You can just keep using scraps. That one's probably not big enough. Let me get another one. You can just lay it on there and sew it down. Which that way you'd know more about where to cut.
And how wide are your strips, Elaine?
These strips, at this one here, now they'll tell you on that little sheet of paper that comes with it, because some of the other squares are bigger. These need to be at least 1 1/4. But if you had a 1 1/2 inch, you could slap it on there because you're going to trim off the excess. So we've got 2 creams on there, and now we're ready to add 2 darks.
Hold it out toward the camera, if you will.
Okay. And we're going to add some more darks.
Okay.
And I'm going to put that right on here. But you'll get the idea of how this goes. So I wasn't really sure. And you can see, just snip it off. You don't have to be so precise on these like you do when you make them the other way. The normal way we used to make them. That mine would always turn out kind of wonky. And see, you've got ends sticking out.
Okay, hold that forward, yeah.
You've got ends sticking out, and it looks kind of crazy, but it's going to come together. Trust me. Oh, there it is. Almost unthreaded my needle. These little machines are so cute, but boy, they like their threads. And you add, on these, you add a total of 3 rows. This is row number 2. So see how quick you can make these? They're just wonderful. Okay, now I'm going to go over here and square it up, Carolyn.
Okay.
And you've got the next square on here. That's the first one was a black square. This one is a white looking square. You're going to line that up with your middle square again. And then you're going to trim off the extra. You're going to turn it around and line your square up again with that next square. And see how that was kind of crazy looking at the beginning, and now it's squared up again. So, how are we on time?
We're good.
Okay.
Anything else that you'd like to?
I would add another row, and when I add the next row, these are how they're going to turn out. And before I square these last ones up, they look really big and they're kind of out of proportion, but you can see how pretty they square up, and they make the prettiest little log cabins you've ever seen. Just be sure to keep your instructions with you, because you don't want to lose the instructions. I keep mine in that bag with my ruler, and sometimes my rulers are hanging up on nails and everything. These stay in a drawer where I can keep all my stuff together. And I always press after each one I sew on. And I guess that's about it. Thank you.